And today we are going to hopefully learn a little something about helping others. Before we do that, though, I invite you to join my panel with Linda Baker and Kathy Cronin as we open in prayer. I invite you to just sit back, close your eyes if that's comfortable, take a breath with us, and turn within. And as we turn within, we tap into that universal divine mind, letting go of the things that might distract us and being completely present here and now, knowing that within us is a light that connects us to each and every life source in the world, knowing that that light connects us directly to God. And we give thanks that we are able to join together, to learn together, to laugh together, and be together here in this way right now. And so it is. Amen. Now, okay, so I am back into the workbook for the Don't Sweat Your Small Stuff book. I've had so much fun with this workbook, and I'm excited to share this with my panel, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say. But lesson 45 in the workbook is develop your own helping rituals. And I'm going to read from the book. It's helpful to do kind, peaceful things. One way to do this is by developing your own helping rituals. You might pick up litter, shovel snow from someone's driveway, or help an elderly person cross the street. Do you have your own helping rituals? If not, think about these categories. So I'm going to share some helping ritual category. Think about an area in your home. How might you make it a little better? Think about someone in your family. How might you make their life a little bit better? Think about an area in your neighborhood. Is there a way you could help to improve it? Think about someone you know. What might make their day a little better? Think about 5 times when you could have offered kindness but chose not to. For example, perhaps you saw your neighbor's newspaper laying outside in the rain, or watched a neighbor was unloading a heavy item, or perhaps you saw litter along the street in front of your house. List 5 things you could have done to make it better. Choose the ritual of kindness that you find comes most easily to you. Write it down and concentrate on ways to make life better. So that's exercise 45. And I'm going to ask my panel to share, but first I wanted to share one of my helping rituals. And this started in Ramona, California, a few years ago at Christmas. It was cold and rainy. It was Christmas time, not Christmas Day. And there was no place to park. Every open parking spot was filled with baskets, with shopping carts. So I pulled my car in the middle of the road and got out and started pulling shopping carts out of the parking spots. And I tell you, no lie, that 3 other people got out of their vehicles and started pulling shopping carts out of parking spots, and we put them away. And it was a Christmas miracle to me. Cold and rainy, and everybody's fussing over a parking spot. But we all got out. We were laughing and sharing and waving and getting poured down rain on and putting shopping carts away. And to this day, whenever I park in a shop, in any kind of a parking lot, I pull parking lot carts out of the slots and put them away. That's one of my helping rituals. It may not mean anything to anybody else, but I always feel better. So please tell me, what are your helping rituals?
Well, I'll go next. Helping rituals. And as you were talking about, is like they're a place in my house, and I'm always constantly working on my house on, what can I do to make this a little less cluttered or whatever. And the things that I do to help out in the neighborhood, and how do I, what do I do? What is my ritual? And one of the things that a friend of mine shared with me a few years back, and this sort of came about during COVID for them, was that they make a habit that during the week, they talk to 3 different people during the week just to reach out and things like that. And they kept this going, is just making that call and calling people. And I thought that, that's just so wonderful that this person is staying like connected. And it's like now that we're all out and about and being busy, it's like there's still a point of reaching out. And so I try to continue having that ritual of at least 3 people a week I reach out to, either by email or a phone call. And I've set up this in this last year with people that live out of state, that once a month we have a certain day or a certain week that we set a time, that we put it on our calendar, that we call and we talk to each other, and we keep that friendship going. Because most of the time it was like, we sent a card out at Christmas and birthdays, but we really weren't staying in touch. And it's been so enriching in my life to now make these connections with these people who were good friends at the point in time, but I either moved away or they moved away, and it's still rekindling that bond of those friendships. And so it's sort of having that aspect of, just putting a call out there of saying, who do I want to, but now you want to, sometimes it comes out that like, I think of somebody and go, I need to call them because somewhere they're on my mind and maybe they really need to hear from a friend. And so that is like the aspect of just reaching out to people, is to call or just touch somebody's life. That may mean everything to them because they may be feeling alone and isolated, and it just is sort of trying to nurture, kindle those relationships. So that's sort of where I do mine, and trying to keep alive that sense of giving and being, and making my life full, because it blesses me. When I reach out to them, it blesses me as well as blessing them. And it's just that sometimes I know that I need, they just may need to hear that friendly voice, and it, gives me that time away. So thank you for bringing that and asking that question as to what it is. And I love your idea of, moving those shopping carts and how you can do that. And one of the brief things is we had torrential rain the other day, and I had to go out, and there was a person sitting on the corner with a sign like, could use help. And and it was the break in between, the rains had stopped, but everything was like flooded, and he was like sitting there. And I normally don't like to give money, but I made the choice at this point in time was to give him some money and say, get yourself a cup of hot coffee or something hot to drink, because you're sitting in this dampness. And it was sort of like thinking to myself, if that may just be enough to, give them a little warmth. It's like, this is a choice they're making, and they're asking for help. And it's like on every corner. But it was that time I was just moved to say, I want to help this person in this time. So that was just sort of a thing. And it just, there's times that we need to, bless somebody and just sort of help them along the way. So those are my thoughts. So Linda, Baker, do you have yours?
Yeah, I sure do. Just as Reverend Linda was talking about that, I think my dog heard her. My old dog Jimmy was up on the couch, and he came down off the couch and he got here beside of me, and I had to pet him for a while. So that was a helping ritual for him that happened right then and there. And talking about litter, that was one thing I've always done since I was a little girl, and it's actually a rewarding experience. I'd go around to a park or just some area by a creek, and if there was litter there, I would pick it up and make it pretty, and it always made me feel so good inside. I feel like I was doing something beautiful for God. It made me really happy. And you were talking about the storm that we had the other day. It was bad here too. And for the first time, my back porch started to flood somewhat. So I had to go. I had potting soil bags, and I moved them out there and blocked to keep the water from coming in on the porch. And I was thinking about my neighbors. I've been out back in their yard when I go over and take care of their dog, and I thought, oh, geez, I bet this is rough. And so I sent them a message, and I said, are you guys okay? Do you need some help cleaning up over there on your porch? If your porch is as bad as mine was, you might need some help. And sure enough, they did have some flooding, but they had it under control. But we help each other out a lot too, with kind rituals. When garbage day comes and the garbage men come, they're not home. I'll bring in their cans for them, and vice versa. They do the same for me. It's just a loving and a giving process. And lastly, I'll say that to the people that are in my life that mean something to me, I know by experience that they're gone in the blink of an eye and you don't get another chance. But to be able to tell them that you love them or how you appreciate them and what they are to you, what an inspiration they've been to you in your life, you'll never regret taking the time to do that when you have the opportunity. I Reverend Lindy always had the best subjects that just inspires you and brings up just heartwarming stuff. Thank you.
Well, you're
Thank you.
welcome. And thank you. You reminded me of this is a true story. When I was in early recovery, I am working the steps. My one of the steps is to make amends to all the people that you have harmed. And I had a whole list of unknown people. And I told my sponsor, I don't know who they are, so I can't make amends. Sorry. And my sponsor said, no, girl, it is not the way this program works. She said, you hurt everybody and you need to make amends to everyone. And she had me carry garbage bags for an entire year. I didn't have a car. I walked everywhere I went, and everywhere I went, I had to pick up trash. And I remember people wouldn't even walk with me because I would do this, and they just, no, I'm not going to be around you. But I remember once waiting for a bus, picking up trash in the bus station. It was just, a little bench, but trash everywhere. And it was awful. And I was early, so I'm picking up trash, waiting for the bus, and I stopped and looked, and it looked so nice, and it made such a difference to me that I had made something better. Now I've just decided, I volunteer 6 days a week at a place here in town, and it's about 2 miles away. And I just decided this morning that I'm going to start walking to and from, um, because it would be so good for me. I need the exercise. It's not that far, and it's a very safe area neighborhood. But I'm going to pack my little fanny pack with garbage bags after having this discussion, and I'm going to walk around and pick up trash all the way to and from because that was such a good thing to do back then, and I'm going to do it again. So you have inspired me. Thank you so much.
Well, I got to tell you one more story
Oh,
before we
good.
go. I want you to know I have a dear friend that was on her way home from work the other day when we were having those torrential rains, and she saw a car stop where there were some homeless people. And the car pulled up next to them, and a lady got out and handed them raincoats, and then
Wow.
got back in the car and went on her way.
Wow,
Isn't
that's
that amazing?
wonderful.
See a stranger do that for other people.
Yeah. Yeah, they sell those slickers, at least out here. They're pretty cheap, and umbrellas aren't that expensive either. That's a good idea. I was homeless. I lived on the streets of San Diego for about 8 months. And I make a point of giving to everyone I can that asks for money. And I may not have much, but I'll give a couple dollars. I like to keep $5 bills in my console to give to people who ask. People say, "Oh, if I give them money, they'll never go to work, they'll never get a job, they're just going to use it for drugs and alcohol." But I know that they might do that. Um, you won't cure somebody's addiction by denying them drugs. You will increase their desperation.
Mm.
And there are people standing there desperate enough to ask perfect strangers to help them out and give them money. And if they don't get the money, I know they'll turn to crime. I know they'll start breaking into cars and stealing what they can steal, and it'll get more and more out of control and out of hand. So that's just my heart and my awareness, but that's another helping ritual. We don't have much of that here. It's a lot colder here. It's a different climate. It's just a different thing. So I've had that same $5 bill sitting in my console for quite a while. My husband picked it up and spent it. What are you doing? But I'm learning different rituals for a different area. Any other comments? I just love this panel and I love this conversation. And if you would be here with us, we would love to have you too. Our panel discussions are completely unscripted. You choose the topics you want to talk about, and we'll share our own experience, strength, and hope. We would love to have you here. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. We are trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And if when you subscribe, you hit that little bell, you'll get notified anytime this wonderful video team comes up with a new video for you. As always, we appreciate your comments. We read and reply to every single one. And we would love it if you would share this video with anyone that you know would benefit from being a part of it. We're glad you're here, and we hope to see you again. Bye.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.